packed with some surprising stuff and, yeah, enough twists to keep you hooked.
And today's focus is this profound puzzle: the autopsy of an unidentified young woman. Found naked, buried in a basement at a murder scene in Grand Anthem, Virginia. Later, she's just known as Jane Doe.
Right. And what grabs you immediately are the contradictions, things that just don't add up, almost pointing towards, well, something supernatural right from the start.
Absolutely. So you have this horrific murder scene, an elderly couple, their servant, killed brutally.
But here's the first weird thing. No signs anyone broke in. All the evidence. It looked like people were frantically trying to break out from inside the house.
Which completely flips what you expect, doesn't it? It immediately tells you something's very wrong here.
And then there's Jane Doe herself, her body. What was the first big red flag for Tommy and Austin, the father-son team, doing the autopsy?
Well, the initial check was just astonishing. Externally, no visible injuries. Which is odd, right? Found at a murder scene, buried.
You'd expect something.
Exactly. But nothing visible. Yet her body temp was way too low, like she'd been dead for days. But then, and this is the kicker, her body looked completely fresh, like just died fresh.
Okay, so cold, like she's old news, but looks like she died minutes ago. That doesn't happen.
Doesn't happen. It defies basic biology. This cold but fresh thing, it's the first major paradox that sets the stage for everything else.
It really signals we're heading into territory beyond normal forensics. So into this walks Tommy. He's like a third-generation morgue owner, knows his stuff, and his son, Austin.
And the sheriff basically says, figure this out and figure it out tonight. No ID, no prints in the system, just this buried naked girl with no obvious marks.
And things get strange almost immediately, don't they?
Oh, right away. The anomalies just start stacking up. Tommy estimates her age, maybe late 20s, notes the lack of bleeding, lack of external injuries, but then he opens her eyes and they're completely white, clouded over. That's a sign of being dead for days.
But she looks fresh. It keeps coming back to that.
It does. And Austin notices her waist is incredibly thin. Tommy initially just thinks maybe she's naturally built that way.
But there's more, isn't there? It wasn't just the waist.
No. Tommy then finds both her wrists and ankles are shattered, completely broken.
Okay, ouch. But wait, you said no external signs.
Exactly. That's the crucial, terrifying part. Bones broken severely, but nothing on the skin. No bruises, no cuts, no marks. How does that happen?
I have no idea. That sounds impossible.
And he finds this weird mud-like stuff under her nails, in her hair. It's not just any mud. It turns out to be peat. You know, like from bogs, down up north, England, places like that. Often uses fuel. It suggests she was literally buried, fully underground.
So broken bones, buried in peat, but zero external evidence? This is already deeply unsettling.
It becomes this recurring theme. Horrific internal damage, but the outside is pristine. And then Austin finds her tongue has been, well, brutally cut off.
Oh, God. That's horrible.
Yeah. Tommy's first thought, based on a past case, is maybe human trafficking. Girls sometimes had their tongues cut to stop them screaming.
A grim thought, but maybe plausible.
For a moment. But then Austin tries to take a photo of her face, and her nose twitches, blood just gushes out, and a fly crawls out.
Whoa, okay. That's not normal forensic findings. That's like something out of a horror movie.
It's grotesque. It's like her body is defying death in these really disturbing ways, almost animated.
And it doesn't stop there, right? There was a tooth.
Yeah, Tommy notices a missing tooth and finds this odd thread inside her mouth. Then, during the private area exam, he finds numerous internal wound marks. Again, internal damage.
Okay, so the picture's getting darker and darker, all hidden inside. And then the environment starts reacting.
Yes. As they get ready to open her up, properly look inside, this violent storm kicks up out of nowhere, thunder crashing. And their radio, which was just playing music, starts playing this really unsettlingly cheerful song, Open Up Your Heart and Let the Sun Shine In, over and over.
Creepy. Did they stop?
No, they try to ignore it. They make the first incision into her chest, and suddenly blood just pours out, way more than you'd expect from a corpse, as if she were alive.
It's like the very act of trying to find her secrets is provoking something.
It definitely feels like a turning point. They're shifting from this is a weird medical case to something else is going on here. Tommy realizes that thin waist, it wasn't natural. It was from wearing a corset for a very, very long time.
A corset, like centuries ago kind of corset.
Exactly, suggesting she's much, much older than they thought. And they look inside. Her lungs are destroyed, blackened, not like from smoking, but from intense burning.
But no burns on the outside.
None. Zero external burn marks. Her heart, other organs, they have clear stab wounds. knife mark.
Also with no external wounds.
Also with no external wounds. It makes no medical sense. How are you stabbed and burned internally with absolutely no sign on the surface?
It's just an impossible body. All this violence completely hidden. And things start getting worse for them personally, too, right?
The cat. Yeah, the lights start flickering. They hear noises. Austin sees a shadow. Then they find their cat horribly mutilated. Its intestines are gone. Tommy, devastated, has to put it out of its misery.
Oh, man. That's awful.
They go back to Jane Doe, stealing themselves. They open her intestines and find a flower. Geisenweed.
Geisenweed. Didn't you say Pete was from up north?
Yes. Geisenweed is also found in northern countries. And crucially, it causes paralysis.
Okay, paralysis. Peat soil, the corset. This is starting to sound ancient and ritualistic.
Exactly. And then the clincher. Inside her intestines, along with the flower, they find a human tooth wrapped in a piece of cloth.
The missing tooth.
The missing tooth, wrapped in this old cloth that has a strange symbol on it and Roman numerals, and somehow this cloth hasn't digested at all.
Which is impossible.
Completely. And the thread from her mouth, it matches the thread used to wrap the tooth. They take the tooth, fit it into the empty socket in her mouth. Perfect fit.
It's like a signature left inside her.
A ritualistic signature preserved impossibly.
So what did Austin start piecing together from all this collection of horrors?
He started to form this terrifying picture. Jane Doe wasn't murdered in the conventional sense. She was sacrificed in some kind of, religious ritual.
Okay, how? Based on the evidence?
Tied up, remember the broken wrists and ankles, her tongue cut out, paralyzed with the Geisenweed, forced to swallow her own tooth wrapped in that ritual cloth, stabbed repeatedly, even burned. Internally.
The amount of pain. It's unimaginable. It's still the core mystery. Why couldn't they see any of this on the outside?
That is the central haunting question. Why does this body, which has clearly endured absolute agony internally, show nothing externally? It doesn't make sense.
And the environment continues to react. The radio.
Yeah, the radio that earlier said clear skies. Now it's broadcasting severe storm warnings, saying the voice gets distorted. Austin starts thinking, wait, is the radio warning us?
Warning them about what? Jane Doe.
Maybe warning them from Jane Doe, or trying to tell them something through her, and then they decide to skin her as part of the autopsy process.
Okay.
And when they peel back the skin, the inside of her skin, it has the exact same symbols and Roman numerals that were on the cloth inside her.
No way. Etched onto the inside of her skin.
As if her suffering was literally written into her flesh, but hidden from the world. Visible only from the inside out.
That is deeply disturbing. And what happens then?
All hell breaks loose. The lights go out instantly. They realize all the other corpses in the morgue, they're gone. Vanished.
Gone. Where?
No idea. They're trapped. Elevator's dead. A tree falls, blocking the main door. Phone signal's gone. And then they hear it. A little bell ringing.
A bell. Like on the corpses.
Yeah, old practice. Tie a bell to a corpse's toe in case they weren't actually dead. So that ringing means one of the corpses is up. Moving. Coming for them.
Oh, terrific. So they're trapped with animated corpses.
Seems like it. They barricade themselves in the autopsy room. And Austin is now totally convinced. Jane Doe is doing this. She's actively stopping them, punishing them for uncovering her secrets.
Is she attacking them directly?
It escalates. Tommy gets attacked by something invisible. Remember the wound on his hand from earlier? It starts showing the same strange marks, the symbols that are on Jane Doe.
Oh, God. It's like he's becoming marked by her suffering.
Exactly. Then they make a desperate attempt, try to burn Jane Doe's body, destroy the source.
Does it work?
No. Everything around her catches fire, the room, equipment but her body. Untouched. Impervious to the flames.
She can't be destroyed.
Seems like it. And in the chaos, the smoke, the fear. Austin's girlfriend Emma shows up, worried about him. They mistake her silhouette for one of the reanimated corpses, and they kill her. Tragically.
Oh, no. That's horrifying. They killed her.
Yes. They realize then that Jane isn't just moving corpses. She's creating hallucinations, twisting their reality, making them see things that aren't there, making them cause their own tragedies.
It must be broken at this point.
Absolutely devastated. But Austin, even then, asks this really crucial question. If she has the power to just kill us, why hasn't she? Why keep us alive through all this?
That's a good question. Why torment them instead of just ending it?
He remembers the radio warnings, the weird song. He thinks maybe she wasn't just torturing them. Maybe she was trying to tell them something, to stop them before they found whatever her ultimate secret was.
So they go back, even after everything.
They realize they have to finish the autopsy, find the answer, find maybe something that can stop it or appease her. They have to understand why. And that leads them to the final step. opening her skull, examining her brain.
And what do they find?
This is it, the core revelation, the thing that changes everything. Her brain, it's completely intact. No signs of decay, no injury, nothing you'd expect after death, let alone after days of being dead.
Intact. But she's dead, isn't she?
They look at her brain cells under a microscope, and they are perfectly healthy, fully active, firing.
Active brain cells mean?
She's alive.
Yeah.
Jane Doe is, on some fundamental biological level, still alive, which means everything they did, the cutting, the probing, the internal examination, she felt it, all of it, consciously.
Oh my God, that's the ultimate horror, conscious torment.
It explains everything, the resistance, the lashing out, its conscious agony. And then Austen remembers the cloth. He unfolds it properly. The Roman numerals, they form a Bible verse reference, Leviticus 20. And there's a year written on it too, 1693.
1693, Leviticus 20. What does that mean?
Tommy grabs the Bible immediately, looks up Leviticus 20. And the verse basically says that mediums, spiritists, witches, they must be put to death, stoned. Their blood is on their own heads.
And 1693, that year, rings a bell. A very famous, infamous bell.
Austen connects it instantly. 1693, the peak of the Salem witch trials, Massachusetts, but also parts of England. Times when mass hysteria led to young women being accused of witchcraft, often tortured and killed, usually burned or hanged.
So the conclusion is Jane Doe was one of them, accused of being a witch back in 1693.
That's the chilling realization they come to. It explains the ritualistic killing methods, the attempt to purge her supposed evil according to the beliefs of the time.
But Tommy had doubts, didn't he, about whether she was actually a witch?
Yeah, even amidst all the supernatural chaos they're experiencing, Tommy suggests that maybe most of those accused women weren't witches at all. They were just misunderstood, victims of fear. But he posits something darker. Maybe the very rituals they performed on her, the torture meant to prove she was a witch. Maybe those rituals inadvertently created something, turned an innocent girl, through sheer suffering, into this vengeful entity.
So the attempt to destroy a witch actually created one. A terrifying thought. And her motive for hurting them.
Because she felt everything they did during the autopsy. Every cut, every examination. She wanted them to feel her pain. An eye for an eye, but on an agonizing supernatural level.
A cycle of suffering. How does it end for them?
Tommy makes a sacrifice. To save Austen, he basically shouts at Jane Doe, "Take me! Inflict it all on me!" And she does. His wrists and ankles snap, his eyes go white, just like hers were. He's experiencing her torture.
And what happens to Jane?
As Tommy suffers, Jane's body begins to heal, miraculously. The wounds close, the skin regenerates, the bones mend. It's like she's drawing the life or maybe absorbing the pain from him.
But Austen can't let his father go through that.
No, he can't watch it. In a moment of mercy or perhaps despair, he stabs Tommy, ending his suffering. This stops Jane's healing process before it's complete, and then silence. Everything just returns to normal. The storm stops, the morgue is just a morgue again, or seems to be.
Seems to be. What happens when the authorities arrive?
The real sheriff shows up the next morning, finds this horrific scene, Tommy, Austen, Emma, all dead. And just like the original murders at the house where Jane was found, their deaths are completely inexplicable by normal means. There's no logical explanation.
And Jane Doe?
The sheriff, clearly disturbed and sensing something deeply wrong, orders her body sent away for further investigation at a university, maybe trying to find some rational answer to the impossible events.
Does it end there?
Not quite. The final scene is chilling.
Yeah.
As Jane Doe's body is being transported in an ambulance or van, the radio in the vehicle starts playing that same song. Open up your heart and let the sun shine in.
Oh, that song again.
And just as the song plays, the camera focuses on Jane Doe's foot, and her big toe gives the tiniest, almost imperceptible twitch.
The bell, if it were still there, would have rung.
Wow. So she's still active, still aware. The cycle isn't over.
The implication is terrifying. The story ends, but the horror, her presence, it lingers. It's moving on to its next destination. This whole autopsy of Jane Doe, it really forces you to confront more than just, a medical puzzle. It's about suffering, immense suffering, and historical injustice leaving a mark that just lasts.
Absolutely. That internal evidence, Leviticus 20, 1693, it points directly to the Salem witch trials, a time of just horrifying persecution driven by fear.
And that central paradox just sticks with you, doesn't it?
Yeah.
This girl, maybe completely innocent, subjected to torture we can barely imagine, tied, tongue cut, paralyzed, tooth swallowed, stabbed, burned.
Yet externally pristine. Her body showed none of it. Her suffering was written inside, unseen, a kind of deep internal scarring that Tommy and Austin had to uncover piece by painstaking piece.
And it seems that suffering didn't just end when her heart stopped, if it ever truly did. The deaths of Tommy, Austin, Emma, it suggests her pain, her vengeance, maybe her curse continued, left the authorities totally baffled.
It really makes you question the boundaries we assume exist between life, death, justice, and consequence. What happens when that level of suffering is inflicted and never resolved?
Right. If she was innocent, just caught up in that historical nightmare, what does that say about the power of that kind of injustice? Can it echo down centuries, manifest physically, defying science, demanding its own kind of terrible balance?
It's a profoundly unsettling thought, that sound, that bell, or hearing that specific eerie song. Maybe it's a reminder that some stories, some deep pains, they aren't ever really over. They're just waiting.